Prologue, A Father's Dream. "You're still up, Papa?" asked a young girl of 7, rubbing her eyes and clutching a small plush Charmander. She'd gotten out of bed to get a drink of water when she noticed the light in her father's office was still on. Dr. Roberts laid aside his papers and took his daughter into his arms.
"Yes, Annie. I was just going to finish reading this report before turning in."
"Are you still in the case of that special Pokemon?" Annie yawned.
"Which one?"
Her father replied, stroking his daughter's light brown hair. "Well, you know, Papa, that Joel something or other, that one." Dr. Roberts thought for a moment, then he chuckled with realization.
"You mean the Diamond Onix?" "Yes, I'm still on that case. Reports of that special Pokemon have become more frequent lately. My dream is to catch it so I can study it and find out what gives it its unique abilities."
"Mm-hmm," Annie murmured as she drifted off to sleep once more. Dr. Roberts smiled as he carried his daughter into her room and laid her on her bed.
"She's so much like her mother was,"
he thought as he left and closed the door. "Papa, can't you put your work down for just a minute?" begged a young girl of 10. "It's such a beautiful day outside. Why not study Pokemon in our own backyard instead of chasing after a mystical Diamond Onix that may or may not even exist outside of urban legend?"
"Not now, Annie.
Dr. Roberts waved his daughter away.
A friend of mine sent me some photos taken by a coworker that confirmed one of my theories about this Onix."
"Papa, it's like you never even leave the lab. Come enjoy the real world," Annie pleaded.
"Annie, this is really important. Please understand."
"Yes, Papa," Annie sighed. She knew that after her mother's passing, her father had dived headlong into his work, but nowadays he seemed more obsessed with his research than ever before. Annie forced herself to smile and go outside by herself. Nearly 8 years later, the memories of that young girl who was both intrigued and annoyed by her father's work still live with me. I know Annie Roberts better than anyone else. How, you may ask, do I know Annie so well? It's simple. I'm Annie Roberts. Pleased to make your acquaintance. Well, not bad for a first introduction, was that? If I could only introduce myself with such poise and confidence outside of my head. In real life, I'm more likely to awkwardly wave and mumble, "Hello." At least, I don't have to introduce myself that often. Papa and I still don't get out much, and most people we do see are ones we already know. Papa was still on the trail of the Diamond Onix, although he'd been working on other projects as well. He has published his findings on many unique Pokemon. I say unique because the creatures he finds so fascinating aren't necessarily rare, they're just different. For example, his last report was about a Zubat that learned to survive after an injury made it lose its ability to use its sonar. Papa always has a nose for news about Pokemon who have adapted in a unique way or who possess uncommon qualities. I pushed open the door of the lab with my right shoulder as my arms were burdened with more books for Papa's ever-growing library. Papa collected publishings from other Pokemon researchers, and today a retired researcher was donating his collection of encyclopedias to Papa. The collection was quite weighty, as it covered every topic in the Pokemon world from Aber to Zygarde. "Where should I put these books, Papa?" I grunted under the weight of the encyclopedias.
"Just put them over on that shelf somewhere,"
Papa said absent-mindedly, barely glancing up from reading a new report. "Any more sightings?" I asked, letting my burden drop with a thud onto the nearest empty shelf. Papa's eyes eagerly searched the page before settling on the paragraph of interest. He jerked straight up in his swivel chair.
"Annie!"
he cried.
"I've got a definite on the Onix's location."
He waved the paper wildly in the air.
"You've got to read this. This arrived this morning from Pewter City."
"Well, let me see it, Papa." I glanced at the paper and read it silently.
"Dear Dr. Roberts, I have heard of your effort to locate and collect data on the Diamond Onix, and I am writing to inform you that sightings have been confirmed here in Pewter City. If you would like to come and study the Onix in person, my brother, Forrest, and I would be happy to assist you with your research, as we both specialize in rock-type Pokemon."
There was more to the letter, but I stopped and looked up at Papa. "Sightings have been confirmed? Study the Onix in person?" I breathed. "Papa, does this mean—"
"Yes!
Papa leaped out of his chair.
I've finally gotten the chance to meet the Pokemon I've spent my whole life searching for. Annie, find me my bags. We're making a visit to Pewter City."